What's up, guys, and we're back with some training videos. Hell yeah. So a lot of you have been asking me recently about my training, and let's just clear things up. I don't do high volume all the time. I do heavy, low volume, I do high volume, and I do contraction training. So I'm going to show you the difference between the ways I do it. So we're looking at leg press. Now I do this wide footed and close footed, and if you look here, this is the contraction work. In the contraction work, you'll notice I'm pausing at the bottom of each rep. Hold, 2, press, and squeeze. Not locking out the legs, making sure they're stopping just prior to contraction, to full lockout, and maintaining load points. That's the goal here. When you're doing your contraction work, focusing on where the load is to be placed and where you should be feeling it. So there's an entire week dedicated to this, and it works throughout the entire body. And this is the time when you develop that mind to muscle connection, because without that mind to muscle connection, guys, your training is not at 100%. If you can't control failure with a light load, how do you think you're controlling failure with a heavy load? Think about that. So, contraction training on the leg press, I really enjoy this. It's really easy to hold the weight at the bottom. You can also do this with pause reps, with squats at the bottom as well, and check out the limping afterwards. So it ain't easy. Now I'm going to show you the difference between the contraction and high volume. So same position, same movement. You'll notice I've got knee wraps on for doing this one because there's a lot more motion to walk through the knees. I like to keep them warm, and I think it was a bit of a colder day because I got my hat on. And you'll see here, there's no pause at the bottom. It's continual movement, and you'll see rest, pause, and then I go again. I'll do 2 rest pauses per set and then rep them out. The weight, you can see, is pretty much the same as the contraction work. So with the contraction work, I'm making the weight heavier by reducing the speed and explosiveness of the movement. So it's not about weight all the time, guys. You can make a lighter weight feel heavy with control, and the control crosses over into all aspects: heavy, high volume, and contraction. Very important. Now this is a look at the close leg work as well. I just wanted to show you positioning here. See how my feet are pretty much just under hip width apart, but look how my knees are in line with my feet. This is really important. Too many people, when they're coming down on these presses, doing squats or whatever it is they're doing, knees are not tracking with the feet. If my toes are pointing forward, my knees need to track with my toes. So here they stay in line. I'm pressing through the heels and then keeping the load on the heels. Look how I am not locking out the knees until I need to rest. And even then, when it looks like they're locked out, they're just prior to lockout. I promise you, I'm not locking out and putting the load through the joint. I'm just locking out enough to stabilize the weight and then get back to the reps. Safety all the time, especially with knees and shoulders, because they're so easy to pop, and they take a bit of a beating as well when you're doing these kind of motions. High volume work is a lot of joint movement work. So in terms of looking after yourself, make sure that if it's cold, you're wrapping up, you're warming up, and you're making sure that you're looking after the things that are going to keep you going, because time is what we need. And if you take away time through injury, you take away your gains. Now, what I'm just showing you is the movements that I tend to do on legs here. So we'd have done wide leg, close leg, and now onto extensions. Now, what I like to do here with extensions, make sure your feet are equal, but you can see here my left one was caught. Just see how that left toe's up a little higher than right? I've corrected that since watching this video. It's very important. Watch your feet when you're doing this. A lot of people's feet squirrel off into different directions. Again, using the high volume footage here, you can see using the knee sleeves to protect my calves, because the padding on this machine has kind of got beaten up over time and it digs into your shins. Now, I've got pretty tough shins from Thai boxing, but they still was taking away my concentration. So remove anything that that takes away your focus. Find a way of getting rid of that so you can maintain focus. On the leg extensions, I turn toes out very slightly to focus on the teardrop muscle. A little bit of a handy hint there. And this would be a normal workout for us, so that would be legs complete, and now we would include shoulders and biceps. So I'm going to show you shoulders motion I've really got to grips with at the moment, and I'm going to show it you in the form more of like a contraction work, nice and slow, standing shoulder presses. Now you can see how the dumbbells are angled. This is because I was suffered from rear delt injury and some impingement towards the front of the shoulder on the left side. So by bringing the weights at a slight angle, it's a bit more of a natural grip for the arm, and it allows me to press without any pain. At this point, I have now been able to move out with physio. I now move to more of like a bar type grip, but this worked really well, and you can do this either thumbs under or thumbs over, whatever's up to you. But what you're looking at here, again, look how I'm not letting my shoulders rise at the top. Go back and watch that again if you need to, and just watch the shoulders. They don't pop upward. Moving on, the second exercise, rear delts. This is really, really nice movement on the cables, but look how I'm stood behind the cables, not in front of them. Think, when you're doing chest, you stand in front of the cables, pull from behind to the front. We're doing the reverse here, so you need to be stood behind, pulling from in front to behind you. So, what I was talking about here was elbow position. If you rewind that, you'll see how it's demonstrated elbows going too low there, which a lot of people do. You want to try and keep your elbows nice and high as you're coming back. So think about doing like almost a reverse fly, keeping your hands and elbows high, and you're pulling back and squeezing the shoulders, making sure they're not popping forward on there. See, at this point here, don't let them go forward there. Keep them held back, scapula engaged, and then bring them back round and make sure that you're contracting at the back without squeezing your traps. It is a little bit tricky, but what you have to do on this is disconnect from the traps. If you can't disconnect from the traps, that's lack of muscle control, guys, and this is what you're working on improving the whole time. And so many people neglect that. They just think that by doing the movement alone, they're working the areas they should be working, and that is not fact. That is often what they're doing completely wrong. So then moving on, biceps. This is one of my favorite motions, and I'm going to show you the contraction work here. Overhand grip cable work. Really, really nice. Brings the forearm in. Again, you want to slightly lean backwards, engaging the scapula, keeping the shoulders in place. And I do this thumbs under or thumbs over, depends how I'm feeling, and whatever works best. Some people find that thumbs over helps bring the forearms in a little bit more. Completely up to you, there's no right or wrong on that one. But you can see I'm coming up to the top, I'm squeezing, and then a nice slow controlled descent. You'll see that my arms are at a slight angle out in front of me, and what that allows me to do is keep tension on the muscle the entire time. Compared to the high volume style, now this will be a little bit lighter weight, I think, and you can see how it's constant, but the arm's still at the same angle, body position maintained, no swinging, and bringing the weight up to a nice solid contraction point, not letting the elbows swing forward. So you can see there's a serious amount of difference between the contraction style and the high volume style. Hopefully I've given you something to think about there and something you can go and try. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, comment below on how you get on, let me know. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. I'll leave you with some raw footage so you can get an idea of what my normal sets sound and look like. So I'll leave you all with a boom and a baby.
Okay, I'm dying. Two together. Two together. One. Nice. Jesus.
Back. Just chatting with Mark about getting over to Canada to see him, to see when it's going to be good to go in between everybody being everywhere. He's just moving into his new house and it looks amazing. Over in Canada, just blue skies, snow everywhere. So that's going to be awesome. We're both really looking forward to that. Lainey is prepping food since we're back from the gym. I just wanted to show you this quickly before we end this footage from this day. It's today's secret find of goodness. We just saw this. It's by Arla, and it's a high protein yogurt. And there's 20 grams of protein in one pot. I think it's 120, what is it, a 200 gram pot. There's the macros. Let's see if we can get that to focus for you. There you go. So not bad. I mean, it's hella low in fat, it's pretty low in carbs, and the protein 20 grams. And that was a Bailey trump. Bailey, did you just let rip? You little stinker.
It was not me. It was the woman in the kitchen.
Oh, I am a lady.
Yes, you lady. I do not do poopy to poop.
So basically what this is a raspberry one I got. Now they had blueberry, raspberry. What else did they have? Blueberry, raspberry and strawberry, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, and strawberry. Now they weren't cheap. They were like $1.25 per pot. But when you margin that against meat and protein levels, it's not that bad, and I'm pretty sure they'll come down in price once the people are used to seeing them. But what it is if you look at this, it's pretty thick. Look, I can turn this spoon sideways. There's a spoon, and it doesn't come off. Why? Because it's pretty much, oi, hey, because it is pretty much flavoured quark. And if you're used to quark, it's quite thick consistency. And this is basically quark with a subtle hint of whatever flavour it is through it. So don't expect kind of a big punchy ski style raspberry flavour. It still has that natural yogurt kind of taste in the background with a hint of raspberry over the top. You could very easily add some sweetener to it to sweeten it up, or add more fruits in, or even some protein would mix in quite well, just a small amount, maybe 10 to 15 grams you might get away with. So it's a nice little thing to grab though if you're out and about. It's Arla high protein yogurt. There we go. Lex out. Boom, baby.
You can enjoy it. So look at this, guys. If you hold it up from a distance so you can see the whole piece. And Lainey's had the same blossoms put in as I've got behind on my arm. So we have the same blossoms with the same branch effect.
Cherry blossom.
She has this wing here feathers have been created larger. Now this is all going to be white highlighted through into this one, so this will all become one piece. And there's going to be some shading in the back, so it'll pop right off. So it's kind of mid-finish at the moment, but it looks amazing already. Look at the detail on these blossoms here.
And the branch.
Ooh, so beautiful.
Just a quick one. I'm going to mute the TV, considering you all are a bit having a moan about our background noise.
Yeah, you do something.
So don't say we don't listen. So I've got Mum is round again. This is the Boom Mum, and little Lainey has made us this gorgeous meal. You can appreciate this. This is 2 venison steaks.
Yeah, that was so good to eat.
With sweet and carrot mash,
Being held back.
white potato mash, a rich onion gravy, and then I'm having a glass of wine. And then the ladies are
Comparing nails.
because we bought Mum a manicure. There we go. So thank you. Cheers, everybody.
Good health.
Lainey's just on the bottle. Dun dun. Thank you, baby. It's a little treat, but now we're checking out family time. Boom.
Baby.